February 8th, 2021 at 6 p.m. I want to thank everybody for coming. I know there's some people sitting outside also, and when we get to the speaking part, if you don't mind, if you speak and you want to let someone come in due to the COVID restrictions, we'll try to rotate, but I can't, that's entirely up to everyone, but just wanted to throw that out there. So what we'll do is, Mr. Dean, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'd be happy to. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Smith, would you be so kind to lead us in the invocation, sir?
This afternoon and the subject matter that we're about to undertake. We pray, oh God, that we would be judicious in our thinking, judicious in our approach to each and every one. And dear God, we pray that everything that we say and do in this meeting will be pleasing in your eyesight. And in the end, we'll be so very careful. We give you all the praise, honor, and glory. First in Jesus' name we ask it all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Dean? Here. Mr. Fitzgerald? Here. Ms. Casabon? Here. Mr. Lorino?
Here.
Mr. Toledano? Ms. Tanner? Here. Mr. Davis? Here. Mr. Canulet? Here. Mr. Mike Smith? Here. Ms. O'Brien? Here. Mr. Stefanczyk? Mr. Bender? Mr. Airy? Mr. T.J. Smith. We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Tonight, I'm going to appoint Mr. Jake Airy as vice chair for this meeting. Coincidentally, two members are missing tonight. Riker Toledano was the vice chair last year, and he's recovering from surgery, but he's doing wonderful, and he should be back soon, and we're looking forward to seeing him. And next is the current vice chair, Mr. Bender, is under COVID restriction. Doesn't have COVID, but he's quarantined. So, Mr. Airy, if you don't mind doing that, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize that this is a very important issue for everyone in this room, and we understand that and we respect that. But what I'd like to do now is just touch on the procedure that we're going to have while we conduct this meeting. And it's not only this meeting, every council meeting that we have abides by these rules that I'm about to read. And so I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that when they come up to speak, if they want to speak. Also, before I do that, just to make sure, if anyone in the audience wishes to speak for or against this issue on the topic of the resolution is what we'll be speaking, but we'll get to that. But anyone who wants to speak on that, please fill out a card and put it up in the front, and we will call you in. Public comments. A 3-minute time limit is established for all members of the public wishing to speak for or against an item. The St. Tammany Parish Charter Section 2.70G limits discussion at a public meeting to those items on the agenda. So it'll be specifically 3 minutes on the topic on the agenda, which is a resolution. I know there was some concern, and rightly so, that we would be talking about this project, possible project is a better term, in great detail. That is not the case. This is on the resolution. The discussion tonight will be limited to the resolution that will be read momentarily. Before we get to the resolutions, I'd like to read a prepared opening statement for tonight's meeting. I'd like to thank all for coming tonight. I understand there's both interest and confusion about the topic of a new casino coming to St. Tammany Parish, and I want to make sure you all understand why we are here tonight and what we will be doing. A resolution by this council is non-binding. It does not bind this council to do anything or not do anything. Means it does not have the legal effect to create action or allow the public to move forward. If a resolution is passed in favor of the project, it simply means that parish leadership is in support of allowing the Louisiana State Legislature to write a bill that would place the casino project on a future ballot for voters of St. Tammany Parish to decide whether or not they want it. A resolution by the council at this stage is not necessary. It's not necessary in the formal process of getting a referendum on the ballot. Some of you may remember that this council passed a resolution in 2020 that did not support the legislative writing of a bill on this project. At this time, we have not received any information from the state or the casino operator prior to public notice being made. That's when we had that one. And we did not feel we could support the possibility of placing that item on the ballot until we had the opportunity to understand more the project that was being proposed. Now that we know more, we are considering this resolution only, to say that we want to give this project a chance to move through the legislative process, culminating with all of you in the audience and the public the chance to vote on this and decide if you want the project to move forward in your parish. I realize many of you have specific questions about the project, and I want you to know that I understand your concerns. There will be many opportunities to have questions answered and make your voice heard. We hope that all St. Tammany voters will stay engaged in the process and have all the information they need to make a decision if this issue reaches the ballot box. There will be many community meetings with the developer and parish leadership, and information about dates and locations of those meetings will be posted on our parish website, official parish social media, and at the website northshoreconversation.com. As I stated a moment ago, we are at the very beginning of this process. If the local delegation of the state of Louisiana introduces a bill at the state level, the bill authorizing a referendum will have to be approved by the appropriate committees in both houses and pass both houses of the state legislature. If the bill passes, it will then have to go to the governor's office for his signature. If signed by the governor, the legislation authorizing the referendum will then come back to the parish council to be placed on an upcoming ballot if the majority of the council supports it. The developer will also be required to go to the Gaming Commission to get final approval for their intended operation. At the end of this process, it will be all of you, the voters of St. Tammany Parish, who decide whether or not you want this in St. Tammany Parish. We appreciate all of you being here tonight. We ask that you please stay within the time allotted to each speaker and limit your comments to the resolution on the agenda. We will not be getting into the specifics of a proposed resort and casino tonight, but we hope that you continue to stay engaged in this process and learn more about this project in the coming months. Thank you. What I'd like to do now is, when we put this on the agenda, you have to do things by a certain time frame to move it forward. And we made a blanket resolution. And that is the resolution that I'm going to read right now that was that blanket resolution. Might do a better job if I get my glasses. Resolution in support of the local legislative delegation filing a bill in the upcoming legislative session regarding an entertainment and gambling resort in St. Tammany Parish. That is the title that was on there now. They have passed out the new resolutions. I hope everyone had a chance to get one. If not, please come up front and get one. And if we don't have it, we'll make sure you do. And I'll just take a minute before I read it. Or ask it to be read is a better term. Yeah. Oh, while everyone's getting a copy, for the members of the council, if you don't mind and you wish to speak on this topic at all, I know I'm used to looking around, but please hit your button and it'll come up, and that way I can go down the order. Okay, thank you. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and read it and then ask for a motion on it. Excuse me. Resolution regarding filing a bill in the upcoming legislative session for an entertainment and gaming resort in eastern St. Tammany. Whereas a notice of intention to introduce a bill regarding a gaming and entertainment project in St. Tammany, located east of I-10 and north of Lake Pontchartrain, will be published in the upcoming St. Tammany Farmer. Whereas on March 5th, 2020, the St. Tammany Parish Council passed a resolution, CS number C-6251, opposing the introduction of a gambling bill in the 2020 legislative session because the St. Tammany Parish Council had not been consulted before a previous notice of intention was published. That is very key. Whereas now the St. Tammany Council has been consulted prior to the current proposed notice of intention being filed. Whereas the St. Tammany Corporation, the parish of the official the parish official economic development organization, on behalf of the parish government, was properly engaged to collect and prepare details on the proposed development in preparation of a public input. And now be it resolved that the St. Tammany Parish Council, in conjunction with the parish president, hereby states that the objections contained in this resolution, CS number C-6251, have been fulfilled, and that the members of the St. Tammany Parish State Legislative Delegation may proceed to file a bill regarding the proposed development in the upcoming legislative session as they see fit. As they see fit. That's the new proposed resolution. Is there anyone who wants to make a motion? Mr. Airy?
Mr. Chair, yeah, just briefly to go over, since this proposed project is going to be located in my district, potentially. First off, a resolution is just a request. It doesn't mean that anybody has to do anything with it. As Chairman Lorino stated, there's a very long process in order to get one of these types of projects done. And frankly, at this stage of it, the St. Tammany Parish Council isn't involved at all. We don't really need to be here at all doing any of this. There's another process that goes forward. However, as it was stated in March of 2020, it came out that something like this may be going on and we didn't know about it. And while we don't have a role at the beginning of the process, we certainly have a role in the process. And for many people, I certainly know in my district, I know other council members, we're sort of the primary contact. We get asked things all the time that we have absolutely no authority over to do, but you know us, so you ask us and we try to get you in touch with the people that can. So when this originally came out in 2020, we felt that it was within our purview to say, before you do something like this, since we do have a role in this, maybe you should come and just talk with us, consult with us, just give us a heads up on what's going on. Since you didn't do that, we're not very happy, and we don't think you should go forward with it. Once again, they could have done whatever they wanted to. It's just a request. It's not binding. But they actually did listen to that request this time around and have at least met with us and give us a heads up on what potentially could be coming as legislation. The deadline to I believe, to file a notice to introduce the piece of legislation like this is about February 17th. So with a developer who actually has the head man here himself is here, and as well as some of his representatives, they needed some additional time to get the land together to do this project. So there was some doubt as to whether it was even going to be able to get done. Unfortunately, that pushed this probably back very close to February. And with the notice deadline being there, I think the legislative delegation, because of what had happened last time, wanted us to come out and say that we supported a bill like this and they should go forward with it and they should do it, and they're just doing what we want to do. Well, that's really not what the process is in here. And as I stated when I was first told this, don't ask me to vote on something before you've given me the facts and a chance to talk with the people that are going to be most affected by this, as well as even the people that have an interest in it that may not be affected by it. And I will say that the developers has committed to doing that. Some of this really isn't their doing. This is sort of what you have when you have a process that has a local government and a state government, and everybody has to work together, and there's not really any procedure on doing that. So this resolution that we've offered is substitute. It's a lot different than what you may have seen in the paper and what I've certainly reached out to a lot of you about. Essentially just says that we filed a previous resolution. We asked you to talk with us. You've done that. Obviously, one discussion in a long series of discussions that'll be going on for probably the whole year. But we felt that in fairness to the legislative delegation, since we told them not to do something last time, to at least tell them that, hey, the specific objection that we had, obviously we probably have lots of other objections, has been resolved. And if you want to see that in writing, here it is. I understand that believe me, I've gotten lots of emails and I've tried to respond to all of them. I've gotten lots of phone calls. Haven't responded to all of them because I don't have enough time in the day to do that. But we are on it. We are working hard to try to get everybody the answers that they want. The developers committed to that. I think all of us here have committed to that. We'll have as many hearings and informational sessions as anybody wants on it. But I just think it's important to note this is not committing anybody to do anything. It's a resolution. It's a request. But it's something that, you know, I feel that I can support, because last time we said, talk to us before you go do this. We asked that you do that. We requested that you do that, and they did that. As far as any other positions on this bill, I have a lot of doubts, or on this project, I have a lot of doubts, a lot of questions. Haven't had a chance to talk with people because I gave my word. I didn't tell anybody about this because I didn't know whether it was going to go on or not. But I want to have those conversations, and I want everybody in the parish that's going to be affected by it to have those same conversations, because at the end of the day, once again, it doesn't matter who votes on it, the governor signs it, people hear what we do. It's going to matter if it gets to that process, that part of the process, you all are going to have to approve it. But you all are voting to put this project in some people's backyards, and even if you live in North St. Tammany Parish, you should probably at least, I would think, if the situation were reversed and we were going to put this in Mr. Dean's district or something like that, you know, he would probably want the opportunity for his people to talk to you and tell you what their concerns are, whether they've been satisfied. So with that, I would move to adopt this one?
Yes, sir.
I know we're going to have a lot. You're going to still get the chance to talk, but just procedurally, that's what I would move for.
I need a motion to substitute. Yes, sir. So we have a motion by Mr. Airy. I think Mr. Stefanczyk. Steve?
Now, yeah, I just wanted to let the people know everybody's gotten the 500 or so emails in the last couple of days. I was really interested in looking at who in my district would be opposed to it or in favor of it or whatever's going to happen to it. And unfortunately, I didn't find anybody in my district that sent me an email. I did get some from Texas, and I got some from other parts of Louisiana, and I even got one from Bremerton, Washington. Now, most of you probably don't know where Bremerton is, but I happened to have worked out there several years ago, so I know where it is, clear on the west coast, about as far west as you can get in the state of Washington. I'm like Jake, and I'm sure many of the other councilmen. We're looking to see how this thing goes forward, but I do believe that the people in the parish ought to have a right to vote on anything, and that's the way I look at it. And if they say yes, fine. If they say no, fine. That's the way I'm going to look at it, and that's the way I'm going to make my choices as we go down the line. So, Mr. Chairman, I think I've said all I want to say now. So,
And you second?
Thank you.
And you second, Mr. Airy?
I already seconded it.
Okay, thank you. Well, I had to hear you, though, you know. But anyway, okay. So we have the motion and the second by Mr. Stefanczyk for the substitute motion. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead. Before we vote on it, I would like to ask President Cooper. I know I had my opening statement, Mike, and I just wanted to get that on the record so that we can move forward with that. Would you like to comment, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have the floor.
Just a few minutes, just a few comments. First, I want to say thanks for the public who showed up, who are here tonight, both in person and by way of our public TV, STPG-TV, for this important issue. I want to thank the council for calling this special meeting to address this matter, as opposed to having it on the regular agenda and bringing it up in a regular meeting. And you very clearly outlined the steps that would need to be taken before a vote of the people in this matter, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for that. And Councilman Airy also brought up very valid points as well. I think it important to note that, speaking of the notice of intention to file a bill, that will in fact appear in the official journal next Wednesday, February 17th, for the first notice, and there will be a second notice in March before the session. That's important that this meeting is being held because we did not want, as you all acknowledge, to catch the public off guard with small, tiny public notices in the legal journal advising of a notice to file a bill by the state legislature. So again, I think this was very important to our citizens that this meeting be held and that we hear from them at this time too regarding the resolution. So thank you. And I'll reserve comments at the end of the resolution voting and public comment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I have Mr. Davis and Mr. Smith, but before we do that, Jimmy and Mike, we already have a motion and a second. If you don't mind, we'll go ahead and vote, and then I'll come back to you, and y'all can comment on the situation. Okay? Thank you. We had a motion and a second. So, Mr. TJ?
We're not going to have any public comment before we vote.
Well, it needs to be introduced. All we're doing is introducing the substitute motion. This is not the final vote on the substitute motion. All we're doing is putting it on the agenda right now. We'll come back and do it. Yes, sir.
Was my microphone on when I was talking? Motion to introduce that, my motion. That was
Motion to introduce the substitute motion. Yes, sir. Okay. Please vote. The motion to introduce the substitute motion on the floor for discussion and feedback.
The motion is unanimous with 2 absent.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, I think your light was on, sir.
Just a point of information for the public. We keep talking about the next legislation session. That actually starts April 12th and is no later than June 10th. I just thought I'd give you that information in case you want to, catch up with the the senators. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Mike Smith?
Okay. Every proposed development has negatives associated with it, and this one in particular is a hot button issue for a lot of my constituents in District 9, as I'm sure it is for everyone on the council. I've heard pros and cons from lots of people, more than I can get back to.
Thank you.
And the kids at school are very, very interested in that. I teach high school. They're all real interested too, and they all have strong opinions about it. The people who are proposing this development have mentioned that they really don't want to go anywhere where the public doesn't embrace them. And they have promised that they're going to have a long series of meetings or an extensive series of community meetings. I think that's really important, especially with COVID, because we have restrictions. So I'm looking on them to fulfill that promise so that people for and against, or people trying to decide one way or the other, will have the opportunity to voice their views and get that information. Okay, so as far as the legislature goes, I worked up there as a student intern. I don't know if it'll ever get out of committee. I don't know if it'll ever come to the floor for a vote. I don't know if it'll pass both houses. I don't know if the governor will sign it. But I know one thing for sure. It's a long process, and every step of the way, you have the right to go and make a comment on it. You have the right to talk to those people who are going to be voting on it. And you have the right to go and show yourself to the committee and talk to those people up there. Okay? And in the end, I know this. It's going to come up, before it passes, before it becomes a reality, it has to be voted on here by the people of the parish. And again, everyone will have the opportunity to voice their opinions, and everyone will have the opportunity to vote on this. This is not something that's going to happen overnight.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay, seeing no one else in the queue, what we'll do is we'll go to public comment. I don't know if I have a lot of comment cards, so what I'll do is I'll go to the card that is in support of the project first, and then I'll go to the ones that are opposed to the project. So, Mr. Jeff Shane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, and I represent Peninsula Pacific Entertainment, the developer and operator of the proposed entertainment and gaming development in Slidell near Lake Pontchartrain. We appreciate the incredible amount of time and effort that has already been graciously given by Chairman Lorino, all of you council persons, and the staff of the council. President Cooper, the administration, and your staff, the St. Tammany Corporation, the chief economic advisors of the parish, particularly Mr. Chris Massengill, their executive director. City of Slidell Mayor Greg Cromer, the City of Slidell Council, and their staff. The St. Tammany Parish Legislative Delegation for their keen interest and their willingness to pursue this opportunity. And also the people of St. Tammany Parish, those that have shown an interest to be here this evening, those that are at home watching or listening to this proceeding, and those that we hope will become engaged in this process in the weeks and months to come. With me this evening, I have our development team, which includes Mr. Brent Stevens, the chairman of the board and chief executive officer, Mr. Derek Stevens, vice president of operations, Mr. Steve Croxton of the local Covington firm, Rice Vocal, our economic and financial advisor, Mr. Jay Connaughton with People Who Think, our public relations manager. We understand and appreciate that tonight is not the night to determine if my client's project is a go or not. And in that regard, Chairman Lorino and others have made it very clear that it would be wholly inappropriate for me to present to you this evening the facts and figures about this project. In fact, though, my client has already scheduled various meetings throughout the community with civic organizations and special interest groups, and we will continue to do so in the months ahead. Between now and then, we will present our project to all. In fact, we have a Zoom scheduled tomorrow for some of the constituents in Mr. Airy's district. If I could have about 20 seconds to conclude.
Hurry up, Jeff, because we have a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. You got? I'm fine. I think we got it, Jeff. So we're going to hold everybody to 3 minutes. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
That means sit down, Mr. Lorino?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're quite welcome.
No, you didn't. You got two.
Okay, Mr. Gregory Peer. Mr. Peer, come on up, sir.
Hello, Your Honors.
Please state your name and your address.
Sure. Greg Peer.
Everyone.
I live in Lakeshore Estates. I am directly across the bayou from the proposed location, so this would be in our backyard. So thank you guys for thinking of spending hundreds of millions of dollars in our neighborhood. That's nice.
Okay, now remember, Greg, we're only talking about the resolution. We're
Yes,
not going
sir.
to get into the, okay, everyone, thank you.
I think at the end of the day, there's a few things that everybody's concerned about, and you'll hear all those. I'm for the casino, given conditions, and I'm hoping that you guys can find conditions and hold them to it. And I think everybody's concerned about safety, so.
Okay, once again, I know this is difficult. I'm going to stop the clock for you.
Okay.
I know this is very difficult to understand, and I appreciate it, okay? But I'm not here to discuss the safety or anything like that. What I really would like to hear, there's going to be numerous times and numerous meetings, and I will hold meetings in here where you can stand up and talk about whatever you have. But at this meeting tonight, it's only whether or not you would want us to pass the resolution that is in front of you regarding the issue, okay?
So passing the
I
resolution.
appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so we cannot, can I say that conditionally, can we know the terms? I mean, I think we all wanted to pass the resolution.
The terms are right here that everybody has read, okay? That's what they are. They're right here, very specific.
Okay,
Okay?
I appreciate the time.
And you can say you don't want us to pass that resolution. I'm trying to.
I think we definitely want to pass the resolution. I think we all want to know more about what the
Okay.
specifics would be.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Johnston, Mr. J.
Good evening. It's good to see you all. Appreciate each and every one of you. I've had the opportunity as a community minister to be y'all's guest.
Yes, sir.
Had dinner with you in the past, so just thank you. I want to just simply say I would ask that you not pass the resolution. As a community engagement minister here in St. Tammany, I spend a lot of time dealing with people with life-dominating issues. It's not a pleasant scene. And so I just simply ask you to consider this. And I think let's just begin the process of ceasing this right now in St. Tammany.
Thank you. It's
Thank you.
very nice to see you again, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Randy Boyette. Mr. Randy?
I too want to thank you for the privilege of being able to speak against
Yes,
the
sir.
resolution. One of the things that troubles me is that they sought to get a notice of intention without even informing you guys, without coming to you from the front end. And I don't know that it's a good way to do business.
That was done last year, so
I
that was not
understand.
this year.
I
This year, they have
understand.
followed, as Mr. Airy alluded to, they followed to the letter of the T. So
Okay.
we'll stay on that one.
Well, but with this resolution that we're considering tonight, we're considering moving forward. I'm a pastor of Thompson Road Baptist Church here in Slidell. I too deal with counseling with families that have to deal with issues that are related to gambling and others. This is not something, if they want to gamble, it's a short drive to New Orleans. I understand that.
I understand.
So as a council, I'm asking you guys to really think about the community that you're representing. You're asking us to allow you to put something on the ballot.
We're not asking that, sir. That is
Well,
not what we're asking at this
but-
meeting.
But I would
Please go ahead.
I would politely disagree with you.
Well, that's okay. You have the right,
because-
and I have the chair, so
Okay.
I'm explaining to you exactly what we're doing.
Okay. And with moving forward on the resolution, you are in effect opening the door.
No, sir. Thank you. Okay?
I just want you to know that as a community,
I understand.
we desire to have a place where we can raise kids
Thank you. I live
and not
here
have to
too.
worry about that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Morris, Mr. Morris, I believe. I don't know if that's the last name. It just says Morris. Mr. Morris? Thank you, sir. Take your time. And I like that face cover. You know, it matches this cup right here.
There you go. Hold on a minute, let me get this thing off, if you don't mind, before you start the clock.
Yes, sir.
And,
You go right ahead.
The last
sir.
time I spoke on this, I was a lot younger than I am now, back in 1996, and I thought we had put it to bed for a long time, but evidently it rose back up. My name is Pastor Morris St. Angelo, and I am pastor of New Beginnings Church in Slidell, but I also am the lead minister with the Slidell Ministers Association, which is a group of about 200, in excess of 200 people that I am in communication with every month. And I have not polled them individually, but I have polled enough to know, and some of the people here today are part of that group. Pastor Randy, who just spoke, is a member of that group.
sir.
And I can say that they are opposed to this motion going forward. That, in a sense, gives a rubber stamp from you that you're in approval of it. Whether you want it to be that way or not, that's the way it looks to us.
And that's why we have in this meeting, so I can sit here from this chair and say that is not correct.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. But there's, I I passed out a handout to each one of you.
Yes, sir.
And so that pretty much states my views. I've done some study on this, and I think it would be in our best interest, in your best interest, to not let this resolution go forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And you know the good thing, Pastor? Since 1996, we're both looking at each other right now.
You were there.
Thank you. Mr. Lee Longstreet.
Hi, I'm Lee Longstreet, and I'm here tonight to
Welcome,
really
sir.
give my civic
Welcome.
input as a Slidell resident of 13 years in Eden Isles. And the reason I'm here tonight to ask you to go ahead and put the resolution on the ballot is because I have specifically experienced the Treasure Chest Casino in Kenner for over 25 years. I have commercial property there, and I lived there for 25 years, and I still have commercial property there. We've seen no negative.
Well, thank you very much for that, sir. Dr. Casey Starr, Doctor?
Hello, my name is Dr. Casey Stark. I'm the senior pastor of First Baptist Church, Slidell, and Mr. Stefanik, I live in your district, so listen up. I'm here to oppose this resolution, and the reason why I oppose this resolution is because it's a waste of our time, and it's a waste of this parish's time when this parish needs to seek true economic development. We're going to oppose you every step of the way, so you might as well give up now. The reason we're going to oppose you is because casinos have a long track record of promising diamonds and delivering dust. Promises are made of jobs, economic improvement, better infrastructure, educational assistance, and greater tax revenue. But history and basic statistics prove those to be hollow lies. We are passionate about opposing this. We do not want it in our community. Evidence shows that they will bring blight, crime, and trouble to us.
I'm going to say the same thing to you, sir.
I understand. I'm making a logical argument of why we're going to not pass this resolution.
No, sir. You're going to stay on the subject.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
If
All right,
I
I'll
let
stay
you
on it.
deviate from the subject, everyone will. So we're going to stay on the subject. You're going to have a time to come up there and say you're going to stay all over everybody up here.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
welcome because I hear that all the time. But the bottom line is stay on the subject.
I'd encourage you to vote no on this resolution. Do not hide behind the process.
Thank you.
We already have voted as a parish a decade ago to not allow gaming institutions in here. You know what this parish is going to decide. You know what we want. We need to pursue true economic development when we can be spending time after that. So we encourage you to vote no on this resolution. We will oppose you here in this council. We will go to Baton Rouge and oppose you. We will oppose you at the governor's office. We will oppose you in committee. And we will oppose you at the ballot office. And if you vote yes now, all you're going to do is waste a year of our time when you can tell these good, fine folks to go find some other place that wants them. We do not want them here.
Once again, if you want to talk and you want to be correct, that is not correct. What we're here today to do, and I can't say it any clearer, so some people may not be paying attention, this has no legal binding at all. Zero. And therefore, all we're doing is living up to what was passed as a resolution at the last council meeting, and that has no legal binding. We're not telling them anything, and so I understand you oppose it, and thank you,
Sir, as a citizen of this parish, we are asking you to vote no
I
and to
appreciate
not
that.
pass
Now,
this resolution.
That's what we're here to talk about, and I appreciate that.
Thank you for agreeing with me,
Yes,
and I
sir.
hope you vote no on this.
I will decide that when I hit the button. Mr. David Ziegler? He's outside? Okay, that's fine. I'll just
give me
put it
that
right
one.
here and get it. Miss Margie? I didn't see Miss Margie. She must be outside. I'll grab it when some people, after some people speak on the subject, if you finish and want to have a seat for those people to come out, I'd appreciate it.
I think the first one's right there. David Ziegler.
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm David Ziegler.
Hey, David.
I'm
how
one
you
of the
doing?
chaplains with the
Yes,
St.
sir.
Tammany Coroner's Office. I live in Pearl River. and I'm asking the council here to oppose this resolution upcoming. I was a bit surprised to find out that you yourself, sir, as well as Mayor Cromer and Mr. Cooper, would even speak with these people after what was passed last time, in that we did not really want this to take place. So, sorry that you entertained these people that are proposing this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Angela Sims? Miss Angela? Oh, Margie? Come on in, Miss Sims. I'll get you on the next one, ma'am.
I'm sitting outside enjoying the fresh air.
That's okay.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead, Miss Margie.
I don't know. On my card, I think I put "really" with a question mark. It's like, I just wish I could see this wasn't much enthusiasm from the council for a resolution to build a nature park in St. Tammany to protect.
Miss Margie, we're staying on
I'm
this
on the
resolution,
resolution.
not the nature park, okay?
Can I change my name
Thank
to
you.
Shane and talk longer?
Thank you. You can come talk to Nature Park all you want the next one. I promise. You can talk to
Now,
the cows come.
I will do. I'm going to hold you to that.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I want to see a great enthusiasm
Yes,
for
ma'am.
getting this thing through. The resolution we know how it works. I know the process. I understand it. It is a first foot in the door to get a casino in St. Tammany. It worries me drastically because, as some of the other gentlemen have, especially the one just before the last man, I agree with everything he said. This is not good jobs. I mean, not that service industry jobs aren't jobs and they don't keep
Miss
people
Margie, we're
employed.
not getting into the details.
But the resolution will help move this forward.
The resolution is what we discussed.
And it will move this
Yes, ma'am.
forward.
No, it won't. It does not.
It moves it forward to the
No, it does not.
It moves it forward to the legislature.
No, it does not, Margie. It does not. I don't know why people aren't listening to me. This does not have any binding legal ramifications at all. It does not move it to the legislature. It does not tell the state delegation to do anything.
It tells the state legislature that you're in favor of it.
No, it doesn't. It says do as you see fit.
Well, okay.
Okay?
But we're
Do
not all
as you see
stupid.
fit. Okay?
We're not all stupid. I mean, having the council say that, okay, we're making this resolution is de facto saying that you're approving
No,
what they want to do. You can say no all you want, but it's their way of moving forward with it. And Mr. Shane wouldn't have been the first speaker here tonight if he wasn't enthusiastic about getting your approval for it. This is not a good thing for the parish. Casinos haven't been a good thing anywhere. If you go around any casino area, it's depressed and sad looking, and pawn shops, and getting a resolution to help move this forward is not a good thing. And I think y'all should do your jobs. I have heard from a lot of your constituents, if you haven't. Mr. Smith, the whole Laurent Narcisse family was calling me and saying, please make a statement for us.
Thank you.
We don't want to see this parish changed into Kenner or New Orleans. We want it to remain St. Tammany. Please remember that when you vote.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Margie. Miss Angela, Ms. Sims?
My name's Angela Sims,
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
am a resident of Marina Drive in Slidell. Definitely agree with passing the resolution for tonight based on the economic conditions of Slidell as they are right now. We need some infusion to boost our economy.
Thank you, ma'am. Chandler? I can't make out there. Gordsey? Maybe outside. I'll get it. Okay, that's on the phone. I'll get that. I'll get the phone ones in a minute. Mr. Don Ordino? Don? This one on the phone. Don Henderson. Don, is that you? I didn't make out the last one, buddy. It looked like an A. Come on up. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. Interesting seeing you all from this side of the...
Yes, sir. Nice to see you.
But I would first like to say I'm not opposed to a casino, nor I am in favor of a casino.
Okay.
One question I do have is this is a substitute resolution?
Yes, sir.
As opposed to the one that was published earlier on?
Yes, sir.
The one that was published earlier had a statement in there that it was to be, if I remember correctly, the casino was to be in East St. Tammany Parish.
Yes, sir.
I understand one's reluctance to place restriction on where a casino can go. I would like to see in there, rather than say in the east or the west or the north or the south, one exclusion, and that is the prior attempt by the state to put a casino in Fontainebleau State Park.
No.
I would like to see within the resolution
Gotcha.
something along those lines.
Gotcha. I totally agree, Don, and it'll be there.
And I think now would be the time to do it, to
Gotcha.
make an amendment to this one to have that in there.
Don?
Yes.
Don, if the resolution states St. Tammany located east of Interstate 10 and north of Lake Pontchartrain. You may have an old one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? It's very specific.
Okay, cool. All right.
Thank you, sir.
I misread that.
And it's nice to see you, and tell your lovely wife I said hello.
I will.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Miss Heather?
I just wanted to say, as a Eden Isles resident, that I am certainly in favor. So anything we need to do, you have my support.
Thank you, ma'am. These are outside there? Okay. Would you do that for me? Thank you all. We'll just take a break there and get the ones inside. And I understand the confusion and the discussion on this, and I can't do nothing about that. All I can do is say, once again, that we will have discussions on every aspect of that casino, and everyone will be able to speak on the pluses and minuses and the issues that you have. I just can't do it tonight, and I just want everybody to know that. I'm for total transparency on this. And I know the developers are, and I know the other members of the council are. If you don't mind, I'm going to just take 2 minutes, Jake, if they come back, and you want to call one for me?
Rick, can we take some on the phone while we're waiting to get the people in, or was that calls? Okay. Ms. Wagner, can you hear us? Ms. Wagner, can you hear us?
Okay, I did *6. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Is it my turn?
Yes. We're going to take you on the phone because we're waiting for other people to get into the room.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm speaking now.
Yes.
What happened to Chairman Lorino? He does not seem to be at his seat.
I'm stepping in as vice chair, ma'am. It's Jake Airy.
Mr. Airy
Yes.
is vice chair?
Yes. For tonight.
Okay.
I'm
Mr.
doing my
Airy.
I'm doing my Mr. Bender impression.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Airy. I can hear you. I am just questioning the procedure. Okay, I'm not for or against, but I do not understand how the council can vote on a substituted motion when it has not been given public notice. So I am concerned about that how you can vote when the public has not been given the public notice. That's my question.
I can refer that to legal, but I believe they looked into this issue and given
Wait,
that.
say that again, I'm sorry.
I said our legal counsel is outside, but I can ask them if they to explain the process to it.
They really should explain that, because if they had a certain, this was public notice, okay, and now they're voting on a substituted motion with no requisite public notice. So I really feel that is insufficient, and they should notice this for further down the line. And that's my comment. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds like Nancy
If the council would like me to address public notice.
Sure.
The meeting was properly noticed. The agenda item was properly descriptive of what had been the title to be considered tonight. The only thing that has changed is the title of the published agenda item and then the language of your substitute resolution. I do think that based on the participation that we've seen tonight, that there was adequate public notice and that it was properly published on the parish website, that posted at the council chambers. And although special meetings do not need to be published in the official journal, I believe that was done here as well.
Out of the abundance of caution.
Oh, I apologize. It was not published in the official journal, but that is not a requirement under the Home Rule Charter.
You got me back? Thank you. Thank you, Jake. Before we get going again, Miss Emily Couvillon sitting next to me is Assistant DA for St. Tammany Parish. Is not the council legal advisor. She's actually assigned by the district attorney's office based on the district attorney being the legal attorney for St. Tammany Parish. I have the utmost confidence in Ms. Couvillon and the entire staff that we have dealt with since that came forth a few years ago. And it's worked very well by Mr. Montgomery and his team. So I just wanted to let that be known about that. Okay. Mr. Gary Evans?
Thank you, Council. I do appreciate you letting me come and speak today.
I'm sorry, Gary.
It's all right.
Please go ahead, sir.
My name's Gary Evans. I'm a Lakeshore Estates resident. I represent 15 to 20 of the local residents there. We've only had a very short notice about what's going on here. We have adamantly stated that we do not want this resolution to even be thought of. Please do not vote in favor of this. I want to thank you for your time.
Gary, thank you very much for coming up and speaking on the topic. I appreciate that also. Thank you. Okay, we have a card by Miss Wanda Evans, who wishes not to speak, and Mr. Carl Hubert does not want to speak. Okay, thank you. Okay. Chandler Godfrey is on the phone, Mr. Rick, I believe. Mr. Chandler? I'm ready. I can't hear.
Hi, am I on speaker?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Chandler Goltz. I live less than a mile from the proposed site for this casino. And I want to ask all of you if it seems like our councilmen are trying to shut us up. Jake Aries, you yourself confirmed that you have already become supportive of this initiative. I have confirmation that you have begun negotiations with this developer. If any of this seems shady to you, maybe you should start to voice your opinion.
Thank you,
This is
ma'am.
a calculated and blatant effort by
Thank
our
you.
parish councilmen to pit East Tammany Parish against West St. Tammany. Please do not fall for this. We must stand together.
Thank you, ma'am.
Councilmen and women, please end your negotiations with this developer. 968 residents have already signed a petition against this development. You are here to represent us, and I am ashamed and embarrassed by you.
Thank you, Ms. Cangela. We appreciate it. And the bottom line is we are representing the people of St. Tammany, and we're going through this. And as I have said earlier, when the issue comes up, you will have an opportunity to come here or call in and voice your opinion. This one does not do anything. Thank you, ma'am.
Are you offering to put snow in your own backyard?
Ma'am, that is not the issue here. The casino may never even be built. That's what I'm trying. It may not even be advertised.
Low-grade casino in the residents of Slidell's backyard. You are affecting thousands of families who live here. But you yourself will not volunteer.
Thank you, ma'am. That is not the discussion. We're talking about whether or not to pass the resolution or not.
This is the first step for you to accomplish this. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is why politicians have the reputation
All right, you can end that call for me, please. Okay, thank you. So do we have, okay. Once again, I understand what they're talking about, and that is all not the case. And bottom line is, everyone will have a chance to say what they want to say at the appropriate time. Please. Ms. Dawson? Ms. Dawson? William Prudhomme? Mr. Prudhomme? And Jake, I'm going to come to you in a minute. Thank you. This one has no name. Stephanie Kuruk? Stephanie Kuruk? I did. Okay. Okay. We did call these here. We did call the names outside, and some did not want to come in to speak. Just want to let everybody know that also. Mr. Airy, did you want to say something, sir?
Yes and no. Some of the things that I would like to say, I understand I can't say, but I just say I don't understand what the last call is about as far as negotiating anything with anybody. I don't think anybody, I wasn't even the first person I was one of the last really to know about this, and I wish I was that important to be able to do something like that, but the only thing that I've said to this developer is you got a lot of explaining to do, I guess, to people, and I've committed to that process. I haven't committed to vote on this, and I certainly have personal feelings on it, but someone said don't follow the process. We took an oath to follow that process, and that's the only thing that I know. Just as people are speaking against it, people are speaking for it, and I have to represent both sides of that. And the way that we do that in a democracy is we do it in this process, and we do it through open meetings and public meetings, and as many meetings as you want. And I understand at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy, and that's just the reality of the situation. But I guarantee you, I can't be bought. I can't be bribed. I don't, at the end of the day, this is going to get done the right way. And I can tell you that that's what I've committed to the developers. That's what they committed to me. And they said if you don't want them here, they won't be here. But I think that we owe it to anybody that wants to put a project here that we follow the process. And that's what I'm committed to do. So, Ms. Getz, I'll be happy to sit down and meet with you. And you can show me how you've confirmed whatever it is that I supposedly did. But I just would say I'm committed to this process, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake, and I understand what you said, and I know you're absolutely correct. Okay. Is there any more, yes, ma'am?
Yeah, I filled out a card.
Yeah.
One of the first people to fill out a card.
Please, I don't, if I didn't call it, I didn't get it, but come on up and please just state your name.
Okay.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My
Please
name
state-
is Bonnie Peru, and I live at 114 Moonraker Drive. I also represent most of the people in Moonraker Island because I am the president of the homeowners organization there, so I get to speak to a lot of people. Anyway, the feedback that I get is very positive. We want you to go forward because we have to get people to understand that this is a chance for Southeast Slidell to thrive. And I want you to open your minds to possibilities because there's only so much money. This will bring money. It will bring jobs. I prepared all of this because I thought that I was going to get to say all of this.
Yes, ma'am.
But I realize now
you will
you
at
just want
another
to
time.
know if I'm for it or against it.
Yes, ma'am.
I am for it, and so are my
Actually,
constituents.
for just the resolution, not the casino, just the
Correct.
resolution.
I am for it.
Yes, ma'am. And I thank you. And, you know, part of that is what Mr. Airy said. There's people on this side, there's people on that side, and you just have to go through the process. And I can't be, I've said it too many times, but I'm going to say it one more time. This process hasn't even begun yet. Hasn't even begun. And we are going to have a thorough process because the people that are for it deserve the same process as the people against it. And that's what Mr. Airy said, what we call a democracy. And that's where we are. And we're not even in the starting gate. But I welcome everyone back, and I look forward to it when you can tell me about every issue you have, and I will sit here and listen. Because that's my job. And my job is not to be threatened. So, therefore, seeing none else, Ms. Casavant, I'm sorry, my dear.
Yes. I just wanted to state, but my position is this. We were approached last year, my very first or maybe my second meeting, and we were told that our state delegation was going to file a bill for a casino. We made a stance then. Now, they approached us. This is, to me, the way you have found out about this. Instead of it being publicly published without your knowledge slipped in there, they have come to us and we are openly receiving these questions and letting everybody up front know what the intentions are. Nobody up here can say what my intention is, or when I say I'm supporting this resolution, it states that we are letting you know what our state delegation is intending to do. That's where you need to go, and that's where you need to voice your opinion for or against. And that's all this resolution is that we have made aware of the intentions of a gambling bill or whatever you want to call it coming to the state legislature. So this was our notice, which, like I said, we rejected it in March of 2020 because we didn't know anything about it. Now we can't say we don't know about it, so that's all we're saying is that we are aware of it, that what they do is what they do. If you're opposed to it, get to the state legislature. If you're for it, speak to your legislatures. And that's what we're voting on tonight.
Phone call, Al Hemwer.
Oh.
Mr. Al?
Al. You know Al.
Mr. Al?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Fine, fine. This is Al Hamway. I just want to speak on my personal opinion is I appreciate the opportunity to vote on this, and I think it's your obligation, as it was when I was in the parish council about video bingo that did not pass the council. I think it's your obligation to allow the citizens to vote. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that people don't understand that we're the ultimate decision maker in this process. We will vote on this, and if the majority of citizens in this parish wants it, we will do it. But again, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Al. It's nice hearing from you, sir. Okay, having no more cards, having no one in the queue, Ms. Casabon had already, Mr. T.J. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You go ahead, sir.
And I'll be very brief. Concerning the resolution that we're about to vote on, and if I express this to some of you already, there is a little language, a little bit of language in the body of the resolution that I would prefer it be changed because words have a way of impacting outcomes of things. But when we get down to the point that says, now be it resolved, I would prefer, and I will vote probably for this with that reservation, that it be changed to read, now be it resolved, that the St. Tammany Parish Council, in conjunction with the parish president, hereby states that the objections contained in Resolution Council Series number C6251 have been observed and recognizes that members of the St. Tammany Parish State Legislative Delegation is considering filing a bill regarding the proposed development in the upcoming legislative session as they see fit. I know there's a big difference between the definition of may and shall. And I offer that that change because it gives me the impression that we are, as much as we are trying to eliminate, giving the impression that we're telling the legislative delegation what to do or what not to do, we still have kind of left the door open right there when we say, may proceed. And that's my justification for offering that change. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The only one question I have is, I don't think it's this council's place to mention to the state delegation what they should do or what they should not do, because we don't like them, or we would not want them to tell us what we should do or what we should not do. They're both separate entities in government. Now, that's my take. Is there a second to the language that Mr. Smith had brought up? I'm sorry?
Repeat that again, since
Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me.
TJ?
Sure.
Just the
I
word
haven't seen it,
change,
so.
please.
Yeah, starting at Council Series number C6251. I'm going to start now. The St. Tammany Parish Council, in conjunction with the parish president, hereby states that the objections contained in Resolution Council Series number 6251 have been observed, not fulfilled. And that same group recognizes that members of the St. Tammany Parish Legislative Delegation is considering filing a bill regarding the proposed development in the upcoming legislative session as they see fit. So instead of may proceed, I struck that out and I said the delegation is considering. We are recognizing the fact that this is something that they are considering doing.
Huh?
I can't hear you, Marty.
I'm asking, does that make a substantive change to it?
Yes, you'd have to amend the
resolutions that have been substituted, but it's just a resolution, it's not an ordinance, so you all can still vote on it tonight. So TJ, I believe, has made a motion to amend the substituted resolution. It has not yet gotten a second. If it gets a second, then we'll have to vote on the amendment.
But does this, what I'm asking, does this change in any way what we're attempting to do?
I consider this just a changing of wording, just a grammatical type of change, a clerical type of change, not anything as to substance that's been discussed tonight.
Okay, I'm not opposed to it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Jay Gary. Okay. Would you be able to give it to me so I can read it into the record officially? You expect me to read that?
I know. Do you want- I mean, he read his amendment out. I don't think you need to do it again if you want to. And now be resolved.
It's
All right,
like-
I'm going to start from here.
Uh-huh.
C 6251.
Mike. May I? While you were recording that, I did see a grammatical, my daddy was my eighth grade, and I didn't think that. There's a grammatical error in my amendment. When I say is considering,
Uh-huh.
you are considering.
Okay. Well, at least you caught it, TJ. Okay. I'm gonna let Ms. Emily Couvillon read the amendment to it, okay? And we had a motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Airy, to amend the resolution, the substitute resolution. So go ahead, Ms. Couvillon.
You want me to start from the title, or you want me to start right at the
Start at the entirety. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the substitute resolution that was accepted previously tonight is going to read, starting at the title, Resolution regarding filing a bill in the upcoming legislative session for an entertainment and gaming resort in eastern St. Tammany. Whereas a notice of intention to introduce bill regarding a gaming and entertainment project in St. Tammany located east of Interstate 10 and north of Lake Pontchartrain will be published in an upcoming St. Tammany Farmer, and whereas on March 5th, 2020, the St. Tammany Parish Council passed Resolution CS number C6251 opposing the introduction of a gambling bill in the 2020 legislative session because the St. Tammany Parish Council had not been consulted before the previous notice of intention was published, and whereas now the St. Tammany Council has been consulted prior to the current proposed notice of intention being filed, and whereas the St. Tammany Corporation, the parish's official economic development organization, on behalf of parish government, was properly engaged to collect and prepare details on the proposed development in preparation of public input, and now be it resolved that the St. Tammany Parish Council, in conjunction with the parish president, hereby states that the objections contained in Resolution CS number C6251 have been observed
and recognizes that members of the St. Tammany Parish State Legislative Delegation are considering filing a bill regarding the proposed development in the upcoming legislative session as they see fit.
That pretty close, Mr. Smith? Okay. Thank you. We had a motion and a second. That's the amendment to the substitute resolution. Mr. Stefanczyk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Any other discussion? Had a motion and a second. Would you please vote on the amendment to the substitute resolution?
The motion passes with 11 yeas, 1 nay, and 2 absent.
Thank you. Okay, now I need a motion by Mr. Smith. And is there a second on the substitute motion? To adopt the amended substitute motion. Motion by Mr. T.J. Smith, second by Mr. Dean. Please vote.
The motion passes with 11 yeas, 1 nay, and 2 absent.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I need a motion to approve the substitute motion. Do I need to read it? Okay, we finished? Okay. As my legal counsel said, we don't have to move in further, so therefore, motion by Mr. Airy, second by Mr. Dean to adjourn. Thank you.